Teaching 124. People of Israel, heirs of my word, I am preparing you to be the consolation of humanity. Look for the poor in spirit, the sick, the tired and needy in body and spirit, and give them this spiritual bread, which is strength and health. In this time of complacency I want to pour out my Spirit on you so that tomorrow you can give testimony of me and say that I manifested myself as a master, as a father and as a judge, so that my children can find me in the way they want to look for me, because in my spirit is love for everyone. Elijah, who is the forerunner, takes the lost sheep to present them to me. His fighting spirit inspires you to speak perfectly and help him in his blessed mission to rescue the spirits from the confusion that reigns at this time. Only to you, people, has this knowledge been revealed, the great mission of Elijah, his attributes and perfection. He will guide humanity and bring it to me. But I also say to you, do not forget Mary, welcome her, who is divine warmth and kindness. All perfections and beauties have been eternally in her spirit, and I have entrusted humanity to her as a daughter for whom she has always watched over. Rise up to her in your tribulations, feel her peace and her love. The eyes that have been prepared to look from the earth at the spiritual realm see her descending from perfection to your world, full of grace, and the heart sensitized by my word feel her presence. All these virtues are owned by you. The tests become palpable so that you do not doubt for an instant. Your spirit feels that so much is the grace it has received, that it would like the whole world to hear my word and every spirit to be enlightened, and I tell you, you can work for humanity. For this I have given you great gifts. The sun of my wisdom is illuminating all men, my justice of love is calling the spirit of all beings. The world wonders why so many calamities, why sin increases and there is no human hand that can stop it, then they think that only a superior force, that only the Divine Father can help humanity to return to balance and reason. You, my disciples, will give them the answer. Let them know my doctrine of love that can restore peace to all those beings and offer them a new horizon, a new life, through the fulfillment of my laws. Form within your family a world of peace and understanding, live and develop in it. Make your work speak of me. You will teach, when the time comes when you are prepared, and you will tell those who hear you, how much peace you have found in loving your brothers, how sweet it is to love your God, and you will reveal all your experience. Your mission, Israel, is to serve your brothers. Who among you are willing to carry a message of peace to other nations? Those who are to receive the good news are already assigned. The pain they have been through has come to them, and your earnest prayer has relieved many hardships and brought them peace and hope. In those nations, by my will, precursors have emerged who speak of spirituality, preparing hearts for the advent of my work, which they still do not know. My word will be known in all nations. If all of humanity listened to me, it could feed on just one of my lessons, because I pour my essence into them, and my presence is real in all my manifestations. I have come to fill the emptiness of your heart with my love, I have awakened in you great spiritual ideals that feed you, and your faith has won. The trials that used to overwhelm your heart, today seem small to you, and you are satisfied and joyful because you have found me. Humanity judges you and places its hope in you, and even when it doubts, the Spirit intimately recognizes that you are my chosen ones. Your charge is great, that is why you must always pray and watch, to be alert in the position of my disciples, where I have placed you. I am speaking to the disciples of the third era, whom I am teaching to search for the essence contained in this word, since whoever finds its meaning will be able to know the divine language. Human terms are not found that can express love and truth in all their purity, then you have to look for them in a language that is beyond the human word. You are the disciples who begin to understand what true love is. Do not stop judging if a certain word was pronounced well or badly by the spokesman, that these superficial trifles, those errors typical of those who are clumsy and humble, do not be a stumbling block for your study. I have come from the kingdom of love and charity to a world where love is something strange, and I have begun my teaching with a people ignored, simple and almost lost among the multitudes, and these people have listened to me, and even more, they have believed me. If my word had been given to all nations, the majority would have rejected it, because the vanity, materialism and false greatness of men would not have accepted a doctrine that speaks of spirituality, humility and fraternity. The world is not yet ready to understand love, therefore not everyone is sensitive to my presence in this form. Just as Christ at that time sought the grotto in the rock to be born as a man, today I found this corner of the earth ready to hear me, which is similar to the grotto and the manger, which received the Son on that blessed night of God. Here I will prepare you in silence, then the day will come when you will have to leave to prepare the path so that my word reaches all hearts. By then the world will be purified through pain and my word will no longer seem like a strange language, but something that your heart and spirit can easily understand and feel. I am giving you the book that speaks of truth and love so that you can take it to all of humanity. There is no town on earth that I can tell you not to go to because you do not need this revelation. What people can say that they are truly Christian, not only in name, but because of their love, their charity and their forgiveness. What nation can demonstrate its spirituality? Where in the world do people love each other? Where do men truly comply with the teachings of Christ? Truly I tell you that you have my law written in books, sometimes in your mind, but I do not find it being fulfilled in your life. Do not tell me that this is not true, because that is why I have tested you, and when the time to forgive has come, you have not known how to forgive the wrongdoing, and instead, you have avenged it. When the needy hand has knocked on your door, you have not known how to give charity, and when it has been necessary to sacrifice yourself to save someone, you have first sacrificed your brother to save your life and your possessions. That is why I tell you that humanity preserves in my word only in dusty books. If my word seems very humble to you, I tell you again, that is only the external expression. Go beyond all human terms and you will hear in the infinite the voice of the Father speaking a heavenly language that will not be strange, but familiar to your spirit, since it sprang from God. Do you realize the mission and responsibility you are taking on? My teaching may not seem strange to anyone, nor their cross heavy, because in truth I tell you, more difficult and heavy is the life you lead in the world. My cross of love is the gentle of yokes. Remember that through 3 ages of spiritual evolution your spirit has followed me, and you are not yet at the end of the road. You have willingly followed me, because I have never forced anyone to do so. When from the depths of your being your confession arose in which you told me, Master, you are my Lord, it was the voice of your faith that spoke, and from that moment of inner illumination, you come after my footprint, step by step, sometimes falling and getting up again to follow me. How much the Spirit rejoices when it feels the weight of its cross of love upon itself. Only those who do not take it with love, when the last moment of their life arrives, will have to show dissatisfaction and restlessness, and in their unpreparedness will sometimes come to blaspheme before their Lord, imitating the thief who was crucified on my left hand on Calvary. This terrestrial life is only a preparation, a step, to reach the true life. My doctrine is the law that teaches you to live in harmony with the spiritual and with nature. Despite the light that shines in your mind pointing out the correct and fair path, sometimes you cry, and it is because sometimes you move away from the law, and then your conscience judges you and sanctions you. When you defy nature by breaking its laws, it touches you instantly. However, you would be unfair if you said that it has taken revenge, because I am in nature as I am in everything. If you insist on throwing yourselves into an abyss, how can you avoid the pain of falling? Feel how you are spiritually crossing an immense desert, beyond which there is a mansion of peace, perfection and light, which has been promised to your spirit. Look behind your back at the distant and sinful city, how far away it is. Today you are free from chains, because at last you freed yourself from the slavery of passions. The idols before which you bowed, remained far away, insensitive and inert. Later they will be knocked down from their pedestals by others who will come after your steps. But if your enemies persecute you, a saving sea will intervene in their path, so that you may arrive safely at the end of your journey. Who would try to come back? Ahead, on the horizon shines the light of hope, behind is the darkness of disappointment. Go ahead, people. The desert is arid, however, on you the manna descends and from its rock springs the water. Watch and pray, because even in the desert itself temptations will follow you. Woe to him who does not watch or pray. Woe to him who is weak in his purposes of regeneration. As soldiers you will cross immense distances and solitudes. I have already made known to you your weapons. The battle will arise, and you will measure your strength against those who try to stop or destroy you. How will you survive in that battle? Not losing faith, going through darkness and confusion, without your light going out, reaching the end of the desert, with your heart free of grievances, grudges or hatred, loving and forgiving your enemies. You will then see your spirit become gigantic in the fight, because it forces you not to stop, not to go back, making use of all your known powers and faculties and to seek in yourself unknown or dormant gifts. Be humble before your Lord and you will be great in spirit. Do not weaken before the temptations of the world and of the flesh. Men will tell you that while Jesus makes you last and humble, they will make you first and great on earth, but do not believe them. I also know how to give crowns, thrones and scepters in the world, like David and Solomon when they had known how to recognize their Lord, and I have touched them with my justice when they betrayed me, letting them disinherit the gift of power, inspiration and wisdom. Today I do not come to offer you kingdoms of this world, rather, I have been stripping you of earthly possessions, so that you may follow me more freely. The kingdom that I have been offering you is beyond what is human. Whoever reaches that kingdom will never leave it again. Behold the monarchs and the lords of the land. How brief is their glory and their reign. Today their people raise them and tomorrow they make them fall from their seat. No one seek your throne in this life because believing you are advancing, you will stop your steps, when your destiny is to walk without stopping until you reach the gates of my kingdom. If at the end of 1950 you are going to stop listening to my word, you will not stop being my disciples because my inspiration will continue to reach your spirit and your understanding to make you understand everything that you received in my word. The last part of the book is still missing, the 7th chapter, which is still sealed. When this seal is opened, you will receive from spirit to spirit the last lesson. My justice is wisely bringing humanity closer to the great revelation. Life, like a teacher, teaches and corrects without ceasing. Tests make the spiritual voice reach through conscience. In order for the world to be able to communicate from spirit to spirit with me, I had to approach you before in this form and prepare for the step that men will have to take on the path of their evolution. My word poured out at this time through the spokespersons will serve to free you from stumbling blocks, doubts, or confusion on your way. In it you will find the clarity of my teaching. I charge you, people, to announce to the world my promise to communicate from spirit to spirit with men. I want you to also transmit this light to your children, so that they illuminate their path with the light of hope. If you sleep, if you forget to watch and pray, when my promise is fulfilled and my spirit calls you, the confusion and doubt that men have always had when I have returned to them because they have not been able to wait for me will return to you. I want that from the moment I stop my word, you give yourselves to the study of it and to the spiritual exercise that gives you the necessary development to communicate directly with my spirit. In that inner, intimate, spiritual development, you will obtain the most beautiful fruits of inspiration, revelation, clairvoyance and strength. Then this people will be one step away from seeing my promise fulfilled, when the last seal is untied and its contents revealed to the world. Do not want to substitute my manifestation when you no longer have it with false imitations or external forms, because you will sink into lethargy, into routine and you will not be able to hear my divine voice when it comes to illuminate your spirit. I do not want it to be a vague intuition that makes men wait for my presence in spirit. I want it to be the certainty, the full conviction that in this way my kingdom will come closer to men. In that second era I announced my return, and it was not in a vague way, but clearly. However, the people got tired of waiting and ended up forgetting my promise. I made all the signs appear that should announce my return and they also went unnoticed by men, because they were spiritually asleep, delivered to the world and stationed in their religions. I don't want you to be confused again now. Listen to my word that tells you the way in which I will have to communicate with men from spirit to spirit. Remove from your heart all materialism, so that you expect that communication in the highest form that you can conceive, and thus you will not suffer any disappointment or confusion in the face of reality. When the Messiah was promised to Israel in the first era, the people waited for him as a powerful king of the earth, that is why when they had him before their eyes they did not recognize him. While I was in the world, I announced my return to men and gave them to understand that it would be spiritually. However, now that I have sent you my word becoming in the minds of my spokesman, many believing me, have denied me, because they had forgotten that I had to return, or because they think that when I return to the world, it would be in the same way in which I came at that time, that is, as a man. I speak to you now about this so that you prepare your brothers and your children, so that they watch, and when the time comes and the divine voice seeks you to make itself heard, men and peoples find themselves praying, because their joy will be infinite and the revelations they receive will be incomparable. This will be a time of merit, people. The patriarchs already gave you life and examples, and the prophets announced my messages to you. You already had Christ, who gave everything for your redemption, and later apostles and envoys who brought you the light. Now it is your turn to take up the cross that you previously left to others. Now you must live your own passion, so that you reach the highest significance of your spirit. Your mission is to spread light and peace among your brothers like fertile and life-giving dew. Do not lie down to sleep. Do you perhaps want the wars unleashed in the east to invade the west as well? Do you want to see your soil stained with the blood of your parents, children or husbands, and women taking the tools of work, to work their daily bread? Do you expect to see how the roads turn into streets of bitterness? Recognize that while humanity suffers and bleeds, you must not feast, nor even remain indifferent. You must carry in your heart the pain of your fellow man, send your prayers and thoughts, as a continuous message of love and peace, asking for charity for your suffering brothers. I see that you do want peace, people, but do not fight for it. You want me to forgive you, but without first having forgiven each other. I am teaching you to love each other even if you don't know each other, and to feel your brother's pain, even if you don't look at him because he is distant. You are not alone in your struggle, I am with you, I who came in this time on the cloud to give you help and love in the desert you are going through. I prepared everything in this corner of the earth so that you could fulfill your mission. A new land that flowed with milk and honey, a pure sky, a virgin land, fertile and prodigal, full of wonders and beauties, everything was ready so that your struggle and your earthly tasks would not overwhelm you and leave time and strength to your spirit, so that you remember your celestial Father, being useful and loving your fellow men. But if you did not know how to pray to reach your spiritual evolution, you did not take care of what you possessed in the world, and behold, walking in your lands, you felt strange, and contemplating your inheritance, you had no right to it. Now you have to fulfill your spiritual destiny, even though many times you carry bitterness and even misery in your spirit. That is why in my word I clothe you with strength so that you do not lose heart in the fight and know that you can still see the time of justice. If the fight is great, give each other warmth and encouragement, that is the unification I ask of you. You know from me that those who are going to fight you will rise up on your path. 1950 is approaching, and I tell you, blessed are those who take advantage of my word, because my farewell will not lacerate their hearts. Nobody is a prophet in his land, yours have made you bleed and cry with their doubt and their mockery, but wait and be like Jesus, be like the prophets or the apostles who, instead of crying, rose to other regions and other nations to preach the truth, where they were believed. After 1950, from among you those who go to other regions and also to other nations will rise up, where they will find greater understanding, and there their wounds will be closed. When my word has ceased, my prophecies will begin to be fulfilled one by one. Then the unbelievers, repentant, will believe. Interpret my word properly, comply with my mandates, continue your work of regeneration, unite in truth, and I tell you, that peace will be in this nation. You will recreate yourself with the abundance and good flavor of its fruits, and it will be seen by foreigners as a beacon of light, as a bastion of justice, and as an emporium of peace. Remove from your gaze all superfluous illusions, all false deities, cleanse your ways and pray for the peace of the nations. My peace be with you.